Okay, so let's take a little bit of a better look at this. I'm going to scoot it back so I can see what this angle is here. And I'm not sure if this will work, but it might. I'm going to try draft. So we'll go to modify draft. And then I don't know if it'll let me pick. Yep. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm just going to rotate this so that this line here matches that angle. And I'm going to rotate it from down here. And it looks like maybe 17 degrees is going to be pretty close. Let's try 18, maybe 16, 16.5. Okay. So what I want is for the inside flat face there to kind of line up with right about there. And I'm going to go ahead and just double check on the bottom. We're taking a pretty good chunk off there. I think maybe it needs to maybe go back just a little bit more as far as the angle goes. Let's go ahead and pull this stuff out. So that might be okay. Just to make sure we get a clean cut. So let's go ahead. I'm going to scoot this in just a little bit more so that there's an intersection there. It doesn't need to be much. It's going to want to snap to some larger unit, but maybe just 0.1. That's probably okay. All right, let's do our combine. Set that to cut, hit OK. And I think that's probably all right. Let's take a look at the reference just to make sure our result here isn't too far off. So you can kind of see the level of thickness here. Let me turn my geo off for just a moment. Of this remaining flat part. This might be just a little bit too thick, so I think we can actually maybe get away with the draft here. So let's try, we'll do a -1, -2, -3. We'll try that. I think that's probably pretty accurate. We can click this and then type in -3, hopefully. There we are. Didn't look like it took. Let me try that one more time. Modify draft. And we'll go ahead and just put some value in there. So now it's -11, so I'll try -3 again. Okay. All right. So I think at this point, we can go ahead and take a look at the grooves where the sights will fit. So let's go ahead and go back to the side view here, maybe the top view even. To kind of get an idea of what those cuts need to look like. All right, I think I'm going to go to the top view. And we'll go ahead and hide the geometry for a minute. That looks like a pretty square cut. So I think we can make a little rectangle here for a sketch. So a rectangle, and we'll do a center rectangle. Actually, it doesn't seem to want to snap on the origin, so probably just a regular 2-point will be acceptable here. We'll start there, and we will go to there, and hit OK, and I'm going to cut back and take a look at this feature. And I think it's going to be more of an arc thing. So we'll start there and go to there. And then the same thing over here. And then we'll connect these with a couple of lines. So I just kind of eyeballed where these points are, and I want to make sure that it is actually exactly the same on both sides. So I'm going to do a trim and a mirror so that it is nice and symmetrical. So I'll grab these outside edges, and then select mirror line, hit OK. So that's filled in, and you can see there is a little bit of a difference there, but that's not a big deal. So at this point, I'm going to hit Stop Sketch, and we can go ahead and extrude both of these, or do a press pull, I mean. And just give it some thickness. I'll show the body so that we can see what we've got. I'm going to go ahead and move both of these up. And switch to my side left view. Now it's kind of hard. I'll hit OK there. Kind of hard to see what's going on with the grooves, unfortunately. So I'm actually going to switch out my reference image that I'm using on my side left. Hopefully the side right will work a little bit better. So we'll go to Edit Canvas. We go to my reference images here, and we'll go to side right. And see if there is anything in there. Doesn't really look like it. But if I bring this over, we can see it basically just gets cut directly off that top edge there. So that's something I can make happen. And I think there's probably a little bit of an angle kind of canting in so that the this area here has a little bit of a grip on it. So we can make that happen too. So I'm going to cancel this, turn my geo back on here. Go ahead and hide the reference for just a moment. So I'm going to do a little bit of a draft. We'll do a modified draft from there to there. Let's do -4 degrees, just so it's kind of subtle. And this one to this one. And it'll go ahead and snap automatically to -4. And then because this one is an arc, this might not be, yeah, it's not going to be quite as willing to do it on that side. So we might just have to live with that being vertical, which is okay with me. So now I'm going to grab both of these and move them down. So they kind of line up with this, and I'm going to bring this back over so we can see how much space there is back there. It is a little bit, but it gets a little bit thicker up there. So I think that's actually probably pretty close. And I do want these to line up with that line there. So let me select both of these again, go back to move, go to the right view. And it looks like maybe -0.4. I think that'll work. All right, let's do a quick combine. And hit OK. So it looks like maybe too far down on the front face there. So I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next video, and we will polish that cut up there.